Hi, this is Nancy with OnPoint's Tutorials, Tips, and Tours. We're continuing our series of demos from the West Michigan Quilt Guild Quilts on the Grand 2016 show. This demo is with Cathy Norton. She owns the quilt shop called Around the Block in Portland, Michigan. She's going to do a demo on the stitch and fold technique from Poorhouse Quilts. I hope you enjoy this.
Thank you for coming. I am Cathy from Around the Block. There are two Cathys, so I'm Cathy Norton. We are kind of known for having several Cathys there. This is the first folded stitch. This is the pattern for it. This was the original Fold'n Stitch Wreath. This was the one that was on the internet so much last year at Christmas time. You can do them in any kind of fabric combinations, so any seasonal fabric works beautifully. There are 3 fabrics on it. The most confusing part to the pattern is determining which fabric is which. There is the back, the front, and the applique. They don't seem to make sense at first, but the back fabric is here, comes around to the front. This one that you just see a small edge of is the front fabric, and what you're seeing the most of is the applique fabric. You take the front and the back fabric and put them together. This one is Peltex. There's also a pre-cut foam that goes in. They're both fusible, so they fuse down to the back fabric. The front fabric has an X cut in it. So you cut the X, and then sew the 2 pieces of fabric together right around the edge of the Peltex or the foam block. After they're sewn together, you trim it closer to the seam and then turn it right side out through the X. So you still have an X on the front fabric. Well, you don't want that to show, so that's what the applique fabric is all about. That has fusible web on the back, and you iron that on, center it, and iron it on, and then you'll stitch it down. You can use any of your decorative stitches. This one has a zigzag stitch on it. You can use a feather stitch. Any of your decorative stitches on your machine will hold it down. One of the things that we have found through experience is that some of this fabric, it's actually the front fabric underneath is kind of buckles a little bit. So we have found that if you use fusible web on that and iron it flat, it will stay flatter. There is also, the next one that came out was the Bloom. That one is smaller, and it's done with hexagons. This is the hexagon template. The pattern does have a paper template in it also, but you can use the acrylic template. Certainly makes life easier to cut. It's done with, this one has fusible fleece as the liner to it, and this one I used the feather stitch on it. Again, you can use any stitch that you want. The next one that came out was the Leaf. And that one has a heart-shaped foam to it. It's pre-cut, and again, it's a front, a back, and an applique fabric. But this one, for the applique fabric, rather than being one piece, you have 8 different pieces, and there's one missing out of here, so you can maybe see it a little bit better. That you cut each leaf piece into 4 pieces, kind of like a crazy quilt. And then you mix them up, and that's what gets appliqued down. The pattern gives you very clear directions on how to stitch that down, and you can do it all in one continuous stitch. All the way around, and then you do the outside stitching again with a decorative stitch. So that holds it down, and you don't really need the extra fusible web for that one because the stitching holds down everything. Then they also added an ornament. That's done with a pattern that has the directions for both a square one or a round one. This one is the round one and uses the round coaster template or the square coaster template. And otherwise, the technique is the same. And this one has little beads that were sewn on it. You can sew buttons for embellishments. You could use beads for embellishments. This is one of the original ones done with the foam squares. They're Bosal foam pre-cut squares, or you can use the Peltex interfacing. Thank you so much. I hope that you learned a little bit and it made it a little bit clearer on how to do the table runners and table toppers and wreaths.
I really like that technique. My favorite was the one that she did with the Michigan State University fabric, Go Spartans. I hope you try this wreath. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We wouldn't want you to miss a single show. Please share us with your friends and leave a comment. We would really love to hear from you.